Hey gamers, in this video I'm going to show you how to use dynamic lighting on Roll20. Hey gamers, welcome back to Game Master's Dungeon. I am Brian, your Game Master, and today we're going to go back to Roll20 and I'm going to show you how to add dynamic lighting to a map that you've created in your game. But before we get into that, if you liked the video, please hit that like button. Also, if you want to support my channel, hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you get instant notifications when I upload new content. Also, follow me over on Twitter at GameMastersDone1. If you have content ideas or questions, you can put them over there. You can drop them down in the comments below. Also, you can go over to Discord and join my server and come join me and some of my subscribers if you want to talk about gaming ideas, character questions, content questions, whatever you want to talk about. We've got a small following over there. We would love to see more of you come over there. Links in the description below will take you to both of those. With that said, let's get into it. Alright gamers, so here we are, back in Roll20. So I've logged into my account, logged into my test game. I've created a new page called The Cave. I just went to Google, found a cave map, downloaded it, just uploaded it here on Roll20, and I stretched it out to make the map pretty good size. So it's got each square, is supposed to represent 5 feet, so we're going to say we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, so it's a pretty good sized map. Obviously you can scale it, bigger and smaller. But today we're going to talk about dynamic lighting. And you're like, what is dynamic lighting? Well, dynamic lighting is going to allow you to make areas dark that players can't and shouldn't see that way. It's also going to give you the ability to, instead of the players seeing the entire map like it is now, they're only going to be able to see small portions of the map based on the specifications you make of what they can see. It's a really great tool. Now you do need to have a subscription to Roll20 to be able to use the dynamic lighting. And honestly, as a GM, if you're planning on using this, I would suggest paying. It's peanuts. It's a small amount every month, especially if you're going to be using Roll20, at least once or twice a month for several hours. I think the cost is worth it to enrich the experience and allows a deeper immersion level for your players when they're crawling through this cave. But let's just go ahead and get into it, okay? Let's get into the meat and potatoes here. So I've got my map. So first you're going to want to come up here. So you've got once you have dynamic lighting unlocked by being a subscriber to this program, Roll20, you're going to have the fourth option here, dynamic lighting, which we're already on, okay? The little flame icon right there. Got to make sure you're in dynamic lighting, okay? Then what we're going to do is basically we're going to draw a bunch of lines all around the little areas of the map that we want to enclose, so like the players aren't seeing all of this black around here. Okay, they're only going to be able to see right here. They're only going to be able to see this stuff in the walls. Okay, so what we're going to want to do, you're going to come right here. You're not going to want to draw shape. Now, draw shape could be used if it's like a square building. You could outline the entire square building with a rectangle and then go in and draw your extra lines. But a map like this, we got to use the polygon line. Okay, now you'll see, so you can hold shift to snap it to the grid if you needed to, if you're doing, square lines and square buildings and doors and stuff like that. But we're not going to be using that on this because it's so just everywhere. You can Control Z to undo the last point that you did, and then you can right click or hit escape to end or complete the line that you're doing. But we'll show you that. And now for color-wise, obviously the map is black. I don't want black lines because I can't see them. I like to make them red. And then I also like to make them large, so they're easier for me to see on the map. And obviously the players won't see the individual lines, but we'll show you all that in the end. So what you're going to do, you're going to start, so you see how you've got some walls here? Obviously we're not going to want to do stuff like this, because then they're not going to see any of the wall, and it's going to be too enclosed. We're going to want them to see the wall. Now this is a good example, so we can hold Control and hit Z to undo that last section of line. So what we're going to want to do You see right, kind of like right here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. Maybe. There we go. So you're gonna click like right here to start. Then we're gonna go like down here, and then you just click. And then I want to come over here and I click. You can see how I'm leaving some of this wall and a little bit of this black. So as they're walking along, they'll be able to see like the cave walls and stuff. So it'll look more like, like I'm not just making a tunnel, but it's like an actual cave. So then we'll come over here and we'll click here and we'll click here. Just kind of use your best judgment. And then see how this kind of goes off the map right there. We'll just click, right up there. And then when we're done, now see if I just come over here and start clicking here, it's going to make a line. We don't want that. Control Z, you're going to right click. Now I can come over here. I can click here to start a new section. Okay. Now when you get to like these little outcroppings right here, I would just kind of go like maybe like down the middle and then like right click to end, and then maybe come like, let's see, what would be a good way to do this? Maybe like right here and just connect it like right here. Okay, then we'll right click to end that. Then we'll click here, and then we're just gonna keep going. Because I want to leave the wall and a little bit of the black shadow there on top. So it does, like I said, so it doesn't look like I'm making like some kind of a cave or whatever. I mean, I'm not making like a tunnel, but I'm making a cave, so they're going to be able to see some of the stuff that's around here. And you're just going to go along, doing all this. Then you come to like right here, like what is this section? This is just a big black hole. But obviously it's a big hole in the floor. But we're gonna want to keep that. So we'll get to that in a minute. We're just gonna finish the outlining here. All right. So you guys get the idea on that. Okay. I'm going to finish the outlining of just the outside, and I'll be right back. Okay. So as we can see, so we got the whole just outside of this cave done. Now we're going to go on the inside and do the dynamic lighting on the inside. So this map is kind of, like right here, it's like, wait a minute. There's like this fine line of where it's like cave wall versus hole in the ground. So we're going to go in here. And we're going to do the same thing like we did on the outside, right? Leave a little bit of the shadow, okay? Come around. We're just going to fill this in like so. Like that. Okay? Alright, I'm going to do the rest of these sections. I'll be right back. Alright, gamers. So here we are. We've got our 3 sections of interior walls completely outlined on the inside. Right? And it's looking pretty good. That's a pretty good looking map, if I do say so myself. But you could leave it here. Or there's a couple of the things you can do. Some little nuances here. So what you're going to want to do. What I want to do, so I want to address these boulders up here. These boulder piles. You're like, okay, what are we going to do with those? Because obviously they look like they're blocking the pathways. So we're not going to want players to be able to see through them unless they're able to get rid of them. But then if you come around to the back side of them, they're not going to be able to see back on the other side. So I'm going to show you 2 ways that you could potentially do something like this. So we're going to go up here. I'm going to change the color to yellow. It could be any other color. I like the stuff that I'm going to add in the dynamic lighting that can potentially be deleted or moved. I like to make it a different color than the main color that I use to make the outline. That's more of a permanent fixture. Okay? So we're going to go to yellow, and this top section, we're just going to come up here and we're going to make like a big circle, like a big boulder, like this. Okay? Like so. So now, if I want to move that, I go up here, select my select move, and I can just be like, oh, you get rid of the boulders. You can move it out of the way. Also, you can press the delete key to delete it. Okay? So we're going to go back to our polygon line. Now down here, this one here is maybe a little more simple. We're just going to make a line. It's just going to just block. Now, you can see right here, right, it looks like there's kind of some light going around. We're going to want to maintain that. So we're going to go like, start here. But see how this is really dark? We're just going to bring this down like right here. Okay? And that's it. Line. Done. So now that's going to block being able to see through, and this is going to be able to block seeing through it and around it. So now, before we test, let me show you some settings that you're going to need to do. All right, so you got it all. It looks beautiful like it does. Okay? You're going to go up here to your page toolbar, and you're going to go up here to your settings. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you two things first. First, I'm going to show you the dynamic lighting, then I'll talk about the advanced fog of war here in a minute. So for dynamic, we're going to enable it. We're going to enforce line of sight. So players' line of sight set by what tokens they control. It's only going to update on drop, so when they click the token to pick it up, when they move, they set it down, that's when the lighting is going to update. And then we're going to restrict movement so they can't move through my walls. So now, like right here, though, this might be like a situation, but we're gonna go into the game as like a player, and we're gonna try to go around this boulder. So if we can go around it, we're just gonna go and delete this circle and make it a little bit bigger so they can't fit between the two sections of lines. Okay, so that's your page settings. See how it turns it kind of dark, right? And now down here, I've got my tokens. So today, The Rock and I, we are going to go into the Goblin Cave and go spelunking. Me and The Rock. Obviously, we got to do some setup first. Okay. So we're going to click here. We're going to click Settings. And we're going to go to Advanced. So we're still got a torch, right? So a torch is going to have, it's going to go out 10 feet, and it's going to have, at 20 feet out, it's going to have dim light. So we're going to be able to see mostly at 20 feet, but really bright light at 10 feet. And we're going to do all players see the light, simulating this is a torch, so other players looking at, my token or whatever can see my light. And then we have sight. Okay? And you'll see how it kind of lights up a little bit right there. That's what you're looking for. So we're going to come over here and do the same thing to me. Now, what you're going to do also, because you can log in, like as a GM, you can go log in as a player. I don't know why that's screwed up like that. You're going to make sure all the tokens that you're going to want to use to test that you're controlled by you, right here. Now let's see if I did it all right. All right. So yeah, we just went to the settings. We clicked the rejoin as player option. So now it turns into rejoin as GM. But we're going to want to do some testing here because we can see. Let me zoom in a little more here. Right? So there's the rock. So that's a 10-foot move. See how we can see out 10 feet. Then we get dim light at 20 feet. And see how it doesn't look like a tunnel, because if we made the lines like this, it would just look like we're walking on the dirt, but we kept the walls in there, so now it actually looks like like a cave. And then also, if we try to move up, we can't go through this wall that's right here. Beep. Can't do it. And see how my lighting doesn't change, and now when I drop, blam. See, now it updates my lighting. Now, we're going to get farther away. Say the rock decides to get a little excited. Oh, he runs away. And now I'm left back here. And now see, I can see his light, he can see my light. And then we can, you know, because if we stay together, then we can see lots of space, right? All right, let's move us over here. Move us in this room. All right, so the rock is like, I'm going this way. All right, and I'm like, well, all right, I'll go this way. So let's get over here. Ah, we come to these boulders. Boom. See? We come right up on it. And see, we can't see past it. Now, the big thing is can we move around it? Yep, we can. We can move around it. We can go around it. So we're going to want to make that bigger. So that would be something you would go through and you would test this way, then you would make notes. Okay, go back and test that. So now let's look at, let me find me here. Ah, see, there's those boulders right there. Let's zoom that in. I found the boulders. See, now I just straight up, see, now I can't even, oh, I can go around them. So this is another thing, right? You gotta, because I was assuming like it was like the whole token size section. Wouldn't be able, you know, you would need that much space. I thought I made it small enough. So what we would do here, we would just go rejoin as GM. Okay. And now we would go back to our dynamic lighting layer. And we're going to go back to our polygon line. Okay, we're going to go back to yellow. I'm going to make this large. Basically what we're going to do then, actually let me select this. I'm going to just delete this. I'm going to delete this. And I'm going to redraw them. It's polygon line. And we're just going to, honestly, I'm just going to go like that. Okay? But then what you would do, so say, you know, the players are able to move it, then you can just go here and you can just, all right, you find a way past that, and now you can go through. Okay? And there we go. That's the map. That's how it looks with the dynamic lighting. Every map is going to be a little bit different. And action. Okay. And then one more thing I want to touch on right quick when it comes to doing like the dynamic lighting is the advanced fog of war. Now, fog of war, anyone who's played an RTS game understands what the fog of war is, right? You explore the map, and there's like a fog that as you move through, your units are able to see a little ways, and then they're able to, you know, it's kind of grayed out what they've seen before but have left the area of. I like using that, especially in like caves and stuff, or, you know, D&D maps, because then the players can kind of look around on the map and be like, oh yeah, there was a way down over here, let's go back. Well, because if you don't, then they're only going to be able to see what they can see, and they might just spend time wandering around in there and get lost. You might enjoy that. I don't know. It's up to you. But how do we do that? Okay, well, first we're going to go here. And then we're going to reset the fog. Because like as you're testing and moving your tokens around, the fog is going to be kind of persistent. So if you were to just go right in, you would see sections of fog of war everywhere. You're going to want to start fresh from scratch. So you reset the fog. Okay, and then you come up here to your toolbar. And I was already playing around a little bit. So you're just going to enable the advanced fog of war and dim light reveals. So by default, the advanced fog of war will not be permanently revealed by dynamic lighting that is not bright. This option allows dim lighting to also reveal the fog. Okay, so like what does that mean? Let's just take a look. Let's go in, join as a player. The Rock and I are going to continue to explore the cave. Alright, so you can see right here is kind of gray, so I'm going to go like this way. And the Rock's going to go back this way. And you see how it leaves this gray section? Right? I'm going to go a little further away. I'm going to go over here. Okay. So now I can kind of like spend my time like exploring this area. And the Rock can kind of do the same. I'm just going to go here and see how we can look back and we can see this section here. So we can be like, oh yeah, there was this section of boulders we should clear away. Or well, yeah, there was like this, you know, this pit right here. Oh, I'm falling into the abyss. And I'm like, well, I can't go that way. I have to go back, you know. Then also I've got it set to where it only shows the grid in areas where you can see. So I can't see the grid here, just right here. So we just move around a little bit. And you can eventually, you know, explore the whole map, especially if your players are like completionists and they want to, you know, complete the whole map. Look for every little nook and cranny, secret doors and stuff like that. You know, a little alcove here. Here you could put like a little room, little treasure room. You know, maybe put some boulders or something right there. And then let's go back and then let's zoom it out. See? Fog of War. So this is where we've been and what we've seen. We know that, okay, we need to go here. This is the way back. We need to go get across here. There's this whole, then there was like this whole section of map right here that we haven't explored yet. So I think it looks really great. I think it's an awesome addition to your game. It's definitely worth the subscription price. All right, gamers. So that's just adding dynamic lighting to your maps in Roll20. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it adds an extra layer of customization for a GM to your maps. Also, like when you rejoin as a player, I think it looks really great. It's really immersive. It's like a little video game, like those older school games, you know, doing a little dungeon crawl or whatever. I think it's going to help the players have a deeper immersion in the game and in their characters. And, you know, they're only going to be able to see so far in the pitch black, and they've got their torch. And you can also be like, oh, while your torch goes out, you can go to the settings and turn off their sight. And now they're just in the dark. You're like, you know, whatever. You can play around with that, which I think is really, really cool. So, I'm Brian, your Game Master. Until I see you again in the dungeon, happy gaming.